Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at audiblepodcast.com/Sorgatron Media. Over 75,000 titles to choose from for your iPod, iPhone, or MP3 player.
I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said now. I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said.
Gentlemen, welcome our new robot overlords. This is the AwesomeCast. I'm your host in the studio on the board. I'm back. I'm not dead.
You are not dead.
I'm not dead yet. Sork here. It's so good to be back. It's so good.
I did good
and get some
for you.
sleep. Chachi, you did a great job last week keeping things going. Thanks, AJ, for dropping by and doing a rundown for last week. And then with us, as always, is our awesome compatriot, Rob De La Creta. How you doing?
I'm okay. You know, I'm actually coming to you from a, what is this? The computer I'm on right now is maybe, I think it's less than a year old. It's like 6 months old or something.
Ooh.
Maybe, I don't know. It's pretty new. It's one of the unibodies. I have a 3-year-old mid-2008 Penryn MacBook Pro, which is in the hands of the Apple Repair Center.
Oh! What happened?
It is a sad week. Well, my Apple Care expires in like 15 days, and I had a couple things just like getting worse.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided it was time to give in and give up my MacBook. Mm-hmm. So I went to the MacBook, the Apple store, and talked to a very nice genius, and traded my very expensive laptop for a very nice piece of paper. My disk drive is broken. My battery is completely worthless, and I've got this cool thing that I've never seen before on a display. It's not dead pixels. It's like a cloudy back panel. It's almost like the backlight is bleeding through, but it just looks cloudy along the side. So they call me today and they're like, hey, so we could fix everything else, but yeah, funny story about that display. So we call that a cosmetic defect, and it won't be covered. So that'll cost you $1,200 plus tax.
Oh, jeez.
Holy shit.
You know how much that laptop was when I bought it brand new? It was $1,499.
So we're not fixing that, is what you're saying.
Yeah. He said that, and all I could respond with was, wow. And he responded with, yeah, tell me about it.
Well, at least he seems like a cool guy, and he understood that you weren't going to pay $1,200 to fix it.
They know.
Yeah, they know I'm not going to. I mean, if I'm bringing in a 3-year-old laptop for service, there's no way I'm putting down $1,200 for a display.
Yeah. I mean, that's one thing with the Apple geniuses. I think since they do have like that limited, array of machines, they know the story. Going into it. That's one of the nice things about them versus the Geek Squad, I think. So, I mean, they have an opportunity to be like, yeah, I actually do know everything about an Apple because we have 3 models. So, there you go.
Yeah.
Going from there. So, aside from that, Rob.
Aside from that, I'm hunky-dory. I was actually supposed to be, wow, hold on. I've got a stupid Justin TV thing. Hearing myself talk.
Yeah, we started getting ads this week, I noticed, while we were doing the Chachi plays. So, bear with that a little bit. So...
it turns out my boss realized that I should have been in Vegas next week, but I'm still not going to Vegas, so there's that. I am going in. I'm currently, units that I've built are at a show in San Diego. I'm going to Orlando, Chicago, Ontario, and a bunch of other places between here and like April. So we'll see.
Tremendous.
Wow.
And of course, in studio as usual is Chachi.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Chachi, what's behind you there?
A big-ass check. No, I'm not kidding. It's a giant check.
There you go. Is it taped to the wall?
No, I had it stuck behind the couch so it stopped falling.
Nobody can hear you, but
oh no,
the check is in front of your face.
No, I had it clipped down by the couch because
Okay.
it kept falling forward and hit me in the head.
Oh yeah.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, that's a big check.
From our friends at Games Are For Idiots.
Yeah, GamesAreForIdiots.com. They do a weekly video game podcast.
Yes.
It's awesome.
So Chachi Plays was this past weekend.
Yes. it was. The event was a huge success. Rob was there.
Yeah, I was.
Mike
for a short period.
I was there. I was around.
Mike was there for the entire thing.
That's right.
Me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So was his brother Matt, and I couldn't thank them enough for that. We ended up raising $3,007.79. So
nice.
That's over the $2,400 goal that I had set.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it was good.
It was tremendous. It was a good time. You started off with the Freak Show guys and Sally Wiggin playing.
I can't tell you what Sally said when she came in because of the show rating.
Yes.
But I can tell you that A, I didn't expect it.
Yeah, yeah.
And B, it was hilarious.
It was, she was very excited that Duke Nukem was being played at the moment.
She was fantastically excited about that.
The best was when, Mikey from the Freak Show convinced her that if she held down the A button and waved the Xbox controller around during Madden, it would turn into a Wii controller. That was pretty tremendous.
And I kid you not, but for a good 15 to 20 seconds, she sat there with that A button down going, and then realized what he said.
She's like, did I do it? Like, I just wanted to see if you'd do it.
Yeah.
And you did. So I wanted to point out here, our good friend Malengo did a comic in today's Carbon Copied Squared is the name of his comic now, by the way. There's a name change.
He changed it.
And there's a rendition of Chachi right there. Apparently, and I asked, I was like, well, that was a really interesting drawing of Chachi. I was sorry for you audio listeners. Go to carboncopysquared.com if you want to check this out. And we have a link to chachiplays.com.
It's not that bad.
It's not a bad rendition. No. You got an interesting pronounced chin going on.
Right.
He got this from a picture that he took during the event.
It's not that bad.
Mimicked it from there, but it looks like none of the rest of his characters.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty good right there.
I can't wait to see if he makes a reoccurring appearance.
Yeah.
But can you put up the one that Mitch did?
Yeah. I was going to bring that up next. Mitch Donneberger, that was been on the show before a couple times, I think.
Yeah.
He sent us this during the event. For a little bit of inspiration, I got to pass along to you on my iPad.
Right.
So, and that was pretty much the feeling about the time he sent it, right?
Yeah.
So. Yeah,
because he sent it Saturday, and yeah, that's pretty much how I was feeling at the time. Mm-hmm. There was a particular game choice about halfway.
NASCAR.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Rob. That killed me.
Yeah. Well, I could tell you. Well, it was like the third hour from the end.
Yeah. There was like 3 or 4 hours left to go in the event.
Mm-hmm.
I had hit a stride, and I was doing good thanks to game choices.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then I start playing that. And I'm turning left for an hour.
I felt so bad when I walked in and I saw you playing NASCAR. I really did.
Well, you know what? I have to give the guy props.
Mm-hmm.
Because this guy, he sat there for a week and a half trying to think of a game that he would destroy me at.
Yeah.
Little did he know that I'm from a redneck town and my dad loves NASCAR. I have watched NASCAR. I have gone to NASCAR. I have played every NASCAR game there is.
Chris is his first name, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he was diehard into this. This guy shows up in a NASCAR outfit.
Yeah.
He was set.
Yeah.
This is NASCAR for what was it, 05 for the PS2 or something like that?
09.
It was 09?
For the PS2. Yeah.
And, I mean, it's not, okay, cool. It was a good NASCAR game and everything, but an hour of NASCAR like that?
Oh, at that time, it was wrong.
Yeah.
That was water torture.
Yeah. that was video game waterboarding.
Oh,
so
yeah, it was bad. But I mean, other than that, it was. I mean, I don't hate the guy because he likes NASCAR.
It was just an unfortunate.
Yeah,
timing.
It was a bad timing.
But you did stick it to him.
I did. He tried being nice and putting it on easy, and I was right on his ass the entire time.
I like about 10 minutes in, you're like, oh, by the way.
Yeah. We're playing the game. We're halfway through the first race. I'm like, oh. I probably should have told you that I've played this before. He's like, oh, we'll just bump up the thing then. And I still finished right behind him. But that's fine. It was a great event. And Ninja Entertainment is a fantastic place. They are awesome people. It's a great store. If you want to save a few bucks on used video games or equipment, go there because they're even cheaper than the exchange.
Yeah.
And the service is better. You cannot be in the store for less than 45 seconds without someone asking you.
Everything's not locked behind a case like it is at the exchange.
I mean, it's it's a great place. So, I mean, if you're looking for used video games or electronics,
I mean, that was the other great thing is you were playing overnight.
Yeah.
You know, you ran out of guests about 2 a.m. And they were busting out they're like, let's bust out the Dreamcast, and they were playing Marvel and Capcom in the other side of the store. And then they had a marathon of Super Mario World for a while there. It was great.
They spent a good 3 hours playing Super Mario World.
Oh yeah,
trying to beat it. I could have beat it in 3 hours, but
well, you can tell they hadn't played it for a while.
Right.
But it was great to watch them going through, and I think they were asking you for tips for the hidden forest and everything. It was good. It was good. It was a lot of fun.
Right. It was a lot of fun. I would definitely do it again. If you haven't read the blog post, go to chachiplays.com for a recap and 6 paragraphs of me thanking everyone. Well, I mean, that's all I can do.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Mike and Missy, the thing would have never gotten off the ground. Matt and Mike stayed the entire 24 hours. All the people on the internet donating their money, some of them their time, to come down and hang out with me for an hour. Ninja Entertainment for the place, Commonwealth Press for the t-shirts. I mean, if it wasn't for everyone else, this event wouldn't have gone anywhere.
Thank you for Ninja Entertainment for letting us use you as our living room for 24 hours. Yeah. It's really what it felt like.
It was.
We were pretty much just set up camp right in the middle of their store.
And they've invited us back next year.
Yes.
So.
Excellent.
We can go on with the show now. Sorry.
Sure. And we'll have some video up. We recorded all 24 hours.
Right. I have an idea for that.
Yeah?
I think you should just leave it as is.
Leave it as is?
Yeah, and set it at, like, 5 times speed.
Time-lapse.
Yeah, just do a... I don't know how long it would be at 5 times.
Just do a 10-minute time-lapse of the 24 hours.
Right.
Ooh, I like that. We'll put some highlights in there, too.
Right, but I mean, just start off the video with a 10-minute time-lapse of the entire event.
Actually, I have the some of the aftermath of you and the Scarehouse Bunny on my blog at Sorgatron.com.
That's another high point.
So that was definitely you playing Raving Rabbits with a Scarehouse Rabbit. That was great.
Hey, you know what? That bunny is good.
That bunny was good.
There are some of the short or the mini games on rabbits that he was amazing at, and I couldn't win.
I think he'd been practicing. It was the suggested game by Scarehouse Scott.
Right.
So.
All right. On with the show.
Well, let's get right into it, to this nice rundown. I like this. I leave and there's organization when I come back.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. So, Josh, keeping that going. Well, the first story...
and we don't have to go in order.
We don't have to go? Well, I figured it was...
Right. This is just the way I did it.
Okay.
I was hoping you guys would go through and rearrange as you wanted to, but if you want to do it in this order, we can do it in this order.
Yeah, it's fine in this order. I mean, we did remember back in the day. What show are we on? What episode? 38? 38.
Yes.
Remember, like, episodes like 1, 2, and 3 where we tried to be organized?
Right.
And I just wrote out a word in giant text in the middle of the document, and that's where that went.
Yeah, that's the whole concept.
Well, just making sure you remember that. That's all.
Yeah, I remember that. The first story, of course, the Mobile World Congress is this week, so there's a lot of cell phone releases, a lot of cell phone news. And this goes right along with the dogs down here. If you hear the Shane, sorry about that. Going right along with the video games, it's the Sony Ericsson Xperia Play, because we can't get enough words in the name of a phone. Here's a shot of it here. This is the one that we've been hearing about. This is the PlayStation phone that we've seen, and there it is. It's a layout like the PlayStation. Apparently, instead of the thumb joysticks in the middle, those are 2 touchpads going on in the middle there. And there's going to be, this is a PlayStation certified device. And I don't think we're entirely sure what that means.
It's launching with 50 games.
50 games.
Yeah. And they don't look that bad. Let me see if I can find the list.
Well, I mean, if we want to go by like past experiences with PlayStation that go up to like say a month ago when they were rolling out more lawsuits, I'm gonna say because it's a certified device, they're gonna release it with a bunch of cool features, and then over the next 2 years, slowly roll those features back and sue everybody who tries to use them.
Well, yeah, okay, that's one thing that could happen, I guess. Or it could be a really cool platform. Well, this says the phone comes preloaded with legendary, it's even in quotes in the article, PS1 games of the undisclosed variety, as well as a bevy of popular Android games, including Asphalt 6, The Sims 3, Tetris, and Sony Ericsson promises a library of 50 additional titles available at launch from 20 publishing partners.
Yeah.
Now they say legendary PS1 games. I mean, are we getting Crash Bandicoot, or are we getting
Final Fantasy VII?
Battle Arena to Shindig, you know?
Yeah.
Or Jumping Flash, if we remember to the first days of the PlayStation.
Listen,
yeah,
I already don't like Sony after this weekend. So if they release,
you have to explain that in a minute.
I will as soon as I'm finished with this point.
Okay.
I don't like Sony after this weekend.
Yeah.
So if they release 50 crappy games from the PS1 to go with this phone, that's taking Sony off my radar completely.
Oh yeah, they're not doing very good right now.
No. So the reason I don't like Sony is the games are for idiots, guys. They wanted to play Little Big Planet 2 with me for their hour. And we did. And it was a fantastically fun game. So I give them props for that. However, it took 10 minutes for us to be able to play the game. Because Wojciech was gracious enough to lend us his PS3. We put the game in. The PS3 had to update. From the game.
Luckily, from the game. I mean, it, at least it let us do that.
And then, after that painstakingly slow loading bar thing went away, I had to install the game to the PS3.
No options.
Yeah, there was no choice. You had to. So, I mean, that took away 10 minutes of the hour, waiting for it to install. So, yeah, Sony's on my crap list.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I think Sharma was sitting there. He's like, "Who thinks this is okay?"
Yeah.
You know, who thinks this is okay to have a video game console like this?
No, it wasn't even because of that. When he was there, he came in at like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, I mean, he was there late.
Yeah.
And there were still a few people in the store at that time.
Yeah. Oh, we put in Wally.
Yeah, we put in Wally, and it said, "This is a Blu-ray. It's going to take 2 to 3 minutes before your movie's going to start. Thank you."
Yeah. You're a Blu-ray player.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
It's a bad device. I want to poop on it.
Do other Blu-ray players have that loading?
I don't know.
I don't think they do.
I'm on DVD.
Not that long. As far as I know, it was only like the very early players. And they did that, and everybody's like, "Oh, Blu-ray will totally fail, and HD DVD is the greatest thing ever."
Yeah.
Look how that went.
All right, moving on. Sorry.
Moving on.
Yeah. This device is probably going to be terrible.
The ad for the Xperia Play, it says shipping from March. Where is March, and can I visit?
There it is right there in that article, from March. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm going to blame Japanese translation for Sony. What's up?
I just reloaded the document with all the links in it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I hate you, Rob.
You know this is on the screen behind me, Rob.
You drew one.
Is it? I missed that.
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna need to see. I never saw. It was on Chachi for the whole time. So
yeah, I know. I'm just leaving it there right now.
Oh man.
So Windows Phone 7.
Yeah.
There's some stuff about that.
Yeah, it's coming out with a bunch of features that already exist on every other platform. Congratulations, Microsoft.
Welcome to the party, Microsoft. Even though the multitasking they are getting, apparently everybody's saying looks like WebOS and Palm with their card interface. Twitter integration, really? That's a new. They didn't already have any kind of Twitter integration.
No.
You know.
Yeah.
It's. And IE9 will be built in, all coming later this year. So there you go.
Someone in the chat room brought up the N gauge.
The N gauge. No, we're coming to that because the other big announcement is Windows Phone 7 teaming with Nokia.
All right.
Nokia, who is not big here in America these days.
Rob, they've had their
Symbian. Are you trying to delete them?
I'm trying to edit the document.
Migo is the other one, which has become apparently a franchise operating system. But I guess for the most part, they're going to be switching to Windows Mobile for Nokia devices, which so it becomes another Windows Phone here in America.
Yep.
And I guess Windows gets a little bit more foothold everywhere else.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
It's not going to work.
Not gonna work. Well, I mean, if you remember this, if we go back to the Windows Phone 7 series Phone 7 ads, this is the phone that everybody's supposed to hate and never ever want to use. So things like Twitter integration are a big step.
That's true. Sorry, I'm too busy editing this document. So I can concentrate.
And then going back to Sony, like you mentioned, what?
Through and I removed all the words, but he drew like 4 more. This is why we can't be organized.
This is why we stopped being organized, Rob. This is why we can't have nice documents.
Yes, and we go back to Sony. All right, now there's no. All right, I'm gonna tell you a joke.
Okay.
On Twitter, Kevin Butler retweeted a tweet that was sent to him.
Kevin Butler is the guy from the Sony ads.
Yeah, from the commercial.
Who's a fictional character.
Yeah, fictional character. Doesn't exist. He has his own Twitter account. Says he's the VP of Sony.
Yeah.
And it's going to load. But someone sent him a tweet. And he retweeted it. And he said,
Let me guess. You sank my battleship?
Yeah. He said, you sank my battleship? However, here's the joke. It was the key needed to soft mod the PS3.
Which Sony is suing over right now.
Yes. It's the key that you need to enable a USB flash drive to soft mod the PS3.
I mean, to be fair to whoever's running the Kevin Butler account, it does say like 46DCEA D317FE45.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like...
no, it does look like they're playing Battleship.
Yeah. So to be fair, how is he supposed to know?
Right.
So,
I mean, he's running the Twitter account. Chances are he's not a programmer.
No.
I mean, Sony is lucky if the guy even uses a PS3.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, just because you work for him doesn't mean you have to use it. Right?
Sure.
Am I wrong?
Sure. I think that's right.
Okay.
I think that's right.
So, yeah. Sony's in the news a lot this week.
And this has been an ongoing thing, because this is... this is the guy... Was the person that broke it because they were trying to put Linux on? I think, which was something that, has been a long-going story. that Sony took out the ability and advertised the ability to put Linux on the load other operating system. That's exactly what
Rob was talking about.
Okay,
they released something with a feature and then took it back and sued everyone.
Yep.
Okay.
That's what they do.
Right.
I mean, at least they're keeping busy. That's good.
They're using their retainer.
Yeah, they are. I mean, well, basically, okay, let's look at the PS3. The PS3 did not do as well as they wanted to do by any stretch, so they don't have the resources to come up with something better on short notice, so there's no such thing as bad press, and they're just pushing as much press as they possibly can by pissing off as many people as they possibly can. There you go. There's my theory.
There you go. I concur.
All
right.
There you go. So... It's so sad
Sony.
too. It's so sad too because I mean, what like the PSP hasn't been doing good.
No,
now they
because
have
the PSP is terrible.
They have this Sony phone coming out,
and it's going to be terrible.
It's
going to take you an hour to download one of these games.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that for a fact, so don't quote me. Well, but, I mean, if they're releasing full PlayStation games to a handheld device, it's going to take a while to download.
We're talking PS1 games.
Yeah.
Now, we have games kind of to that stature on, say, like iPads and iPhones.
Right.
I mean... On
a reliable network.
Well, on AT&T.
Right.
Sorry. Well, well, you're talking about like more iTunes and everything, too.
Yeah, exactly.
So that infrastructure's already there.
Exactly.
Apple has that set up. And I mean, we're talking about like the old Dragon's Lair and Seventh Guest, which those got to be pretty Myst. Myst is I think like a gig and a half maybe. And so, I mean, none of the PlayStation games should be much bigger than that because we're talking about CD-ROMs.
If you take, let's say this is comparable to the lowest level iPhone.
Okay.
How much does that hold?
8 gigabytes or 16 maybe.
Okay.
16 on the 4, yeah.
Okay. So I hope you don't want music.
Well, but your device is expandable. Isn't that one of the big things? I can just get another SIM card and load more games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Good luck with that. It doesn't work as advertised.
No, it never does. No, that's why I never upgraded my SIM card because not my SIM card, my memory card. It's a pain to tell the phone that you want to save something to the card instead of the phone.
So that's not an advantage that you have that ability. No. How much comes on your phone, on your G2 there?
16.
16 gigabytes built in? Okay.
Yeah.
And you're never going to use more than that 16 gigabytes because the card situation is just so horrible.
You know what? I probably wouldn't use that anyhow. I don't...
Until you start downloading PlayStation games.
Exactly. Until I want to play Final Fantasy VII on my phone, which will never happen.
I don't know, because one of the ideas of this is that this PlayStation Store could be available to other Android phones, and of course, you're not going to have the controls like this Ericsson phone, but you'll have the online or the on-screen ability.
Someone linked the PSP2.
Yeah, then that's the other thing, the PSP2 or the NGP. Yeah. Is it? Yeah, it's which is a more spiffy PlayStation Portable. I don't think they failed with the PSP Go. What are you doing, Sony? Are you just doing it because you're Sony at this point?
Sony has so much money that they're just going to keep releasing crap.
Yeah.
Because they know that if they throw the Sony name on it, people are going to buy it.
I wonder if, like, at this point, because Sony really hasn't done anything great in a long time. They used to be great.
Yeah.
Back, like in the 90s, they were fantastic.
With the PlayStation and the PlayStation 2.
They did the right thing. I mean, I don't know who was in charge, of the games division then, but yeah, PS1 through PS2, they got it right. They said they came out of the gate with better technology. They were like, we're going to have 3D games. There's going to be no 2D games because we're different and we're better. and much to the detriment of some of the 2D fans, but went over to Sega Saturn. But and it worked, and they beat the pants off of everybody and became a powerhouse in the gaming side. Now Microsoft did the same thing,
right?
I wonder, because I'm looking at the Sony timeline here.
Mm-hmm.
June of 2000. When did the PS3 come out?
05, 06?
Yeah. Because in June of 05, Nobuyuki Ide stepped down as the chairman and group CEO of Sony,
the
whole company.
You pinpointed the downfall of Sony.
That's it. This guy right here. So, yeah, I mean...
That's... Yeah, you know what, Sony? Do me a favor. You're grounded.
And it seems like,
Go back to your workshop, come up with something good, and then come out.
Yeah.
Stop
go
releasing
into your
crap.
hidey hole.
Yes.
And,
no, you go to your room, you create something fantastic.
Make something fancy for me.
And then you can come out of your room. Don't give me a handheld that takes these funky cartridges.
They're not going to do that anymore. It's all going to be digital.
No one wants that.
No. Anyways, I think we knew PlayStation 3 was in trouble because of this whole cell processor technology that they kept pushing at the time. This big IBM thing, which I think IBM canned about a year into the PlayStation 3's life cycle as a product.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be this networked, distributed, computer processing that we were going to have cell processors in our televisions, in our, toasters, whatever, in our Blu-ray players. And I don't know, maybe they are, and they're just not doing anything with it. But, I think that was kind of the first sign that it was not going to go well for them. And Xbox beat them to the punch. They were cheaper, and, the technology was good enough, which is how PlayStation 2 beat everybody else.
Right.
Because they were the lower end hardware and kicked the pants off the last generation.
Exactly.
So speaking of new technology kicking the pants off of past technologies,
yeah.
that was a stretch.
I like it.
So the FCC has a thing called the USF, which is
Let me just say that I put this article in for you, Rob.
Well, I actually put it in last week.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, thank you. This was really important and nobody paid attention to it. So the USF, which I could never remember what it stands for.
Yeah, me either.
Is anybody else looking at the article?
I'll bring it up right
Universal Service Fund.
Hey.
There we go. Okay, so basically the way it works is telephony, traditional telephony over landline telephones and all that good stuff is something that the FCC has taken care of for many, many decades. And they started this thing back in the day called the USF, which basically skims a little off of everybody's phone bill and puts it into a gigantic $8.7 billion fund, which is used to do, it helps people, there are people who can't afford phones, but they need phones in really far off places. In the US, they help subsidize cheaper phone bills for those who can't afford it. In other places around the country that are just in not good straits, they try and use this money to further it. But the thing is that the quote in the article is from the FCC chair Julius Giannakowski, and it just says that it was designed for a world that no longer exists because nobody uses landline telephones anymore.
Right.
So the USF was created for, quote unquote, a world with separate local and long-distance telephone companies, a world of traditional landline telephones before cell phones or Skype, a world without the internet. So the big problem here is there's this huge bucket of money that is not going anywhere, and they also are losing their ability to keep this money together. So the FCC, in a move that is stunning the world, decided, be stunned. Hold on.
Quick, Chachi, be stunned.
Be stunned.
Carry on.
They are looking. They proposed some bills to take some of the money that they already have, as well as reworking the way that they get their money, to work with current ISPs and carriers to bring broadband to every part of the U.S. It is the big fix for the issue that we've been talking about for so long. That is, not everybody has broadband. So they put out a letter that said, hey, if you're an ISP and you care, send us a proposition. Let us know what you think, because we want to make this happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Which means someone's going to get big.
Nah.
Yeah, and this is one of those like $20 in fees that I've decided to skirt around by canceling my landline, I presume. So I mean it's definitely I've actually been listening to Twitch Triangulation lately, and I forgot the guy's name. Let's see if I can bring it up here. But this guy was talking about how how antiquated a lot of our system is, and what we need to do to kind of wrestle these landlines and infrastructure away from the companies. Let's see if I can get the name of them real quick here. Bob Frankston. I recommend that Triangulation 4 at twit.tv. One thing that kind of struck me from it was that they, in about the 30s, when they were coming up with phone infrastructure, they basically broke our First Amendment right by saying the conversation we can have over these lines now have to be provided and distributed by these other companies. So they basically sold our right to free speech to what became the telephone companies. At least that's how I interpret it. So it's a really good listen. And yeah, this could be interesting, because if they are able to distribute stuff out, for the people on the boondocks, didn't Obama have a big thing about like we're going to provide wireless? They're talking about 4G wireless. They're trying to provide to certain areas. Was one of the things I've heard recently in the news. So. Yeah.
I mean, part of his campaign list of things to accomplish was much better broadband penetration throughout the United States. And he has been supporting that as much as he can, but that takes cooperation of several bodies, and cooperation of the FCC is absolutely key, and money is absolutely key. And the FCC is basically saying, hey, we've got like these sweet savings bonds, and we'd like to use them, so let us.
This story wasn't in the line. Because I just found it at the bottom of the page of that link.
Okay.
Are you sure it wasn't in the delicious document that I put in last week?
I'm sure.
Are you sure?
No, the story you're talking about was, yes.
The one, no, the next one.
What's
the anonymous story?
No, that one is. The one I just found is not.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
Okay.
Go on.
And I don't, it's something we have to cover.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Whatever.
Court case confirms. Now, granted, this is in the United Kingdom, but it confirms that IP addresses are not people. So all these companies that are sending out all these letters saying, "You downloaded this thing, so you got to pay us because that infringes upon our copyright."
And that's the thing, because they would go get a batch of IPs that they pick up off of BitTorrent and send blind lawsuits out.
Right. They can't do that anymore in the United Kingdom. Yeah.
In the United Kingdom.
Right.
There's been similar cases here to...
It's just a matter of time.
To varying effect. Like, there's been some very similar victories here in the States, and it depends on what jurisdiction you're in, and what they were able to convince the judge of.
Right.
So it's a slow battle, and for stupid practice, it's just tying up everybody's money.
Yeah, and the article goes into further detail, but I'm not gonna...
Well, the other side of this is that, because the point that an IP address isn't a person has been something that we've looked at for a long time. There's been a lot of, back in like Napster days, so and so's grandmother got sued because Susie Joe was actually the one downloading it, but it was at grandma's house or whatever. But it's there's a lot of metaphors for like traditional court cases that fall into the same thing, and the solution there has always been DNA, because it's kind of hard to pass by DNA. So I kind of wonder, like, this kind of opens up the question of, how long until there's an identifier on your computer that is linked to the user sitting in front of it at that given time that is information provided to the service provider? How long before they can trace an IP address, and that IP address leads to a list of users, and the list of users shows like your name, address, and driver's license number.
And to a certain point, you could be almost there, because how many laptops these days come with fingerprint scanners for login?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, fingerprint scanners, GPS location, it's all there.
Although most of the people I know that have the fingerprint scanners on their laptops never really use them.
Yeah, I did.
So you did. But you're a geek. Come on.
At the library, when I worked there, everyone there is issued a laptop because they don't have any desktops whatsoever. No, I'm not kidding. The employees at the libraries for the information technology section, they didn't have any desktops for the actual employees, so they issued everyone IBM ThinkPads, and they had the fingerprint scanner on them, and I loved playing with it. That, and I'm lazy. So, if I wanted to log into my computer, I just scanned the finger.
Password. Yeah,
I just scanned the finger, and boom, I was in.
So this next story, it actually leads into a couple of different things here. Unstoppable, the first Blu-ray film with Android-compatible digital copy.
Wait.
Whoa, you're skipping around. You're killing me here. We were organized. What are you doing?
Yeah, you skipped four stories.
4 stories?
Yeah. Anonymous. Because we have to talk about
I didn't see the Anonymous. I'm sorry. What's going on with Anonymous?
It's not even a meaty story. It's just really entertaining.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Oh, is this okay, I think I know this one.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So, you remember, how long ago? It was like 2 months ago, I think. So, Anonymous came out, in support of Julian Assange and started attacking websites that they thought were anti-WikiLeaks.
Yeah.
So, like when Amazon, I think Amazon took down some stuff by court order, and that was a big deal. So Anonymous put a DDoS attack together against Amazon. So what happens is the FBI hires a security firm. The security firm is called HB Gary, which I think is hilarious.
Yes.
Let's just start with that.
This story is one big joke.
It's just a huge joke. It is just really funny.
Punchline after punchline. Go ahead, Rob.
So, Anonymous, Anonymous and HB Gary. So HB Gary, they go after Anonymous, and they target a bunch of Anonymous's quote-unquote senior members. If you know anything about Anonymous, that basically means there aren't founders of Anonymous. Anonymous isn't actually a group. So this represents just the people who call themselves Anonymous, who happen to be the smarter of the bunch, who really know what they're doing compared to everybody else. Right. So they picked on the wrong person, and this time they Anonymous decided to fight back. But instead of just doing like a regular old DDoS attack, they did what's called a lateral attack. They found a insecure web server on HB Gary's federal data center. And then they wandered their way across the network, and they found 60,000 confidential emails of the security firm. So then they got to the web server, and they did the traditional takedown, defacement of the web server and everything. And they left a little love note on the HB Gary website that said, "We've seen your internal documents, all of them, and you know what we did? We laughed. Most of the information you've quote-unquote extracted is publicly available via our IRC networks." So, you know why you can't sell this information to the FBI like you intended? Because we're going to give them away for free. And then they put all 60,000 emails up on BitTorrent. Isn't that great?
That is fantastic. I read this at work, and I seriously spent 10 minutes laughing. Like, it was funny. And it still is funny.
Yeah. And they used some really fantastic puns. What was the pun? Oh, you've angered the hive.
Yeah.
Yeah. You put your head in the beehive.
You stuck your head in the beehive.
Yeah. The group warned HB Gary that it had quote unquote charged into the anonymous hive, and now the company is being stung. And HB Gary shoots back and says, well, they should have kept to themselves because now they've committed federal crime. And Ars Technica was kind enough to say, somewhat, I just don't think Anonymous cares.
Right.
Because they were doing such a good job tracking them down to begin with. Yeah.
Find me.
That was definitely the fun story of the week. So
yeah. So entertaining geek story of the week.
We can skip this one about iTunes here. That's more just kind of pisses me off.
Okay.
Is it the one I was getting to, or did I skip another one?
No, you're right.
Okay. Unstoppable first Blu-ray film with an Android-compatible digital copy. This is something that we've talked about for a while with Netflix. Right. Where the DRM has become an issue because it is an open platform with Android. And that's why you haven't had Netflix up to this point. Apparently, I didn't realize this digital copy situation, which, those who don't know, you pick up a Blu-ray or a DVD and you get a code on there and you can put it on your iPhone, on your computer, so you can watch it anywhere that we allow you.
Right.
All that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
So Unstoppable's the first one we can put on our Android device.
Yes.
So Chachi's going to do that.
No. Well, see, I'm a nerd. So that means if I want a movie on my Android device, I'm going to put that movie on my Android device.
You're going to do it your way.
Right. There's not going to be any DRM stopping me.
Yeah.
The movie companies aren't going to stop me.
Mm-hmm.
That movie will be on my phone if I want that movie on my phone.
If you want it on your phone, you're going to take that Blu-ray or DVD and rip it.
Yeah.
And toss it on your phone.
It'll be on my phone.
It's not, and it's easier for you to do that than me to do it on my iPhone, and it's not all that hard for me to do it on my iPhone.
Exactly.
So, there you go. So, once again, and this has been a big thing. A lot of my Netflix DVDs get this ad about the digital copies. Like, oh, the kids can watch it on wherever and all this stuff. And it's just like, really? Is anybody using this? This is like...
Well, I mean, the question is, because, I know how to do this, you know how to do this, and Chachi knows how to do this.
But is the person... Gonna be like, okay, I have my copy of Wolverine, and because I believe it was one that I picked up that had the stupid digital copy, because I have a few of these DVDs. I've never tried it because I don't want to bother. Really. And sometimes they give you a whole separate disc with the file on it. Really?
They're wasting plastic. Go ahead.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I bought the 2-disc edition. That second disc is a digital copy. Really? But anyway, sorry, Rob.
No. It's just the whole thing is kind of mind-boggling because the argument that they would play is that well, only geeks know how to do this stuff and that's illegal anyway. This is really like the MPAA hanging on by a thread.
Is it really still illegal though?
It is technically.
It is technically illegal.
Away with the whole you're allowed to back up your purchased goods.
Oh yeah, you're allowed to back it up, but you're still not allowed to break the copyright. By breaking that copyright, by stripping the copyright, by circumventing the copy protection on the disc, you are breaking a law. Yeah, by sticking it in there and booting up Fairmount, I'm breaking the law.
Exactly.
Even though it was really easy for me to do it, because their copy protection wasn't that great at this point, and they haven't updated it in years. But
it's ridiculous. I mean, seriously. When I got the G1, the first thing I did was put 2 movies on my phone. Mm-hmm. I put Clerks and Basketball.
Yeah.
And how did you get those movies, Chachi?
I can't discuss that here.
There's discs that you own.
Yeah. I mean, I own the movies.
Yeah.
So I ripped it.
Yeah.
I converted it to a file that was good for my phone, and I dragged and dropped.
Yeah. Hello? It should be that simple. It's just one of those things. It's the content ownership battle that is going to go on for another decade, which is, okay, so I bought this thing, so I own it, right? No, you own a copy of it. Oh, what does that mean? Oh, well, that means you can only use it in this way and that way. And I mean, as a content creator, so, Mike, let's say you shoot a video of a pigeon being attacked by a falcon just because it's in my head.
Okay, sure.
Okay, you're with me, right?
I'm along for this ride. Let's do this.
So you have this video, and you post it online, and you use a traditional copyright. You don't go with Creative Commons. So that means
I own it. Okay.
Right. So that means
my Falcon Death video.
It is your Falcon Death video.
Yeah.
So somebody comes to you and says, "Hey, I want to use your video." Right? They say, "I'm making a video. It is a commercial for falconry, and I want to use it, and I'm going to give you $20 to do so." And you're cool with that, so you give them a little document. You say, "Yeah, I give you approved usage of X, Y, and Z," and they go about and use your video. Now, let's say that same person or firm that you signed that video over to, they take that same footage and stick it in a $4 million blockbuster movie and don't pay you another dime. How do you feel about that?
How do you feel about that?
How do I feel about that?
Do you feel ripped off?
I feel ripped off.
And that's the situation that the MPAA and everybody else feels when you buy a DVD and then you make a copy of it and use it for something else.
There you go.
It's an incredibly fine line, and I hate to make that argument. I really do, but as a content producer, I have to at least present it.
In their mind, they're selling you the license to watch that movie on the device that they sold, on the format that they sold it to you for.
Exactly. And by copying it or moving it or doing anything, it's the equivalent to you selling that Pigeon Death video and somebody something else.
It's like music, in the RIAA's mind, they sold you a CD to listen to in a CD player. They sold you a record to listen to on a record player, and now they have to sell you the digital copy to listen to all those digital places, So there you go. They're trying to hold on to what they have.
Maybe you should change my title from professional gamer to internet criminal.
I think we would all get that title, let's be honest.
Yeah,
Because listen, I'm not about to change my ways. Because what I'm doing is not wrong.
And that's the problem. Well, and it's not perceived as wrong.
Mike makes a very good point. As long as you're not making a profit from it, no harm, no foul.
Oh,
shut your mouth.
Rough. I'm just rough.
And it's going to come down to the average consumer doesn't care that it is available this way or that way. They care whether it's available the way they want to watch it, and when it's not easily available in that, they're going to find a way.
Right.
Yeah, it's all about content presentation control. If you want to make that an acronym, CPC. Yeah, I just came up with that one.
Nice.
So,
we're creating words here.
I'm going nuts. So, like, if I'm a photographer. Say I take a photograph and I sell, or I put all my stuff up on Creative Commons. So somebody says, "Hey, I want to take your photo and use it," and I say, "Okay, that's totally fine, provided that you do X, Y, and Z." There are certain things that I do where I might say, "You can use this, but you're not allowed to alter it in any way." Why do I feel that way? Because it's my creation, and I feel that if it's going to be presented, I want it to be my shtick.
That's your art.
Right. But if you negate that and you change it into something else, if you change the format, you resize it, you crop it, you do anything, you just kind of stepped on my stuff, and that's not cool. I hate that I can make a counter argument to the whole DVD copying thing.
Oh, yeah. The only reason you're able to do that is A, because you're well educated in it, and B, you deal with this on a daily basis.
Yeah.
I do. I absolutely do. I mean, I just shot, pudding wrestling. If you haven't seen my Flickr account, you need to check it out.
Oh, I'm heading there tonight, sir. But yeah, I mean, you still deal with this on a daily basis with your own photography.
Yeah.
So I understand completely why you're able to make a counter argument.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's why, for someone like you, I'm not going to mess with your art. I'm going to follow your rules completely. A, because it's under the Creative Commons copyright. And B, I like you.
That's swell.
I mean, I like you.
So you're saying if you like the movie companies,
Right.
If
that is really what it comes down to, is that we have such a disconnected taste in our mouth to the companies that produce these movies, the people involved with them. Like, people see movies and all they see is gigantic dollar signs and ridiculous budgets and like so much waste and excess that Hollywood is famous for.
And the way that they treat their customers. You know, when
right,
I
and the way they treat
when I pop in a DVD or I watch a movie in the theater and they automatically, talk to you like you're a criminal. I mean, that really colors how you are like, oh, that's what they think of me. So I guess I'm not going to worry about how I get this movie.
Right. If I sit down to watch a movie and the first thing I see is copying of this presentation is punishable by a blah, blah, blah fine and blah, blah, blah years in prison. Really?
Yeah.
I just spent money in one way or another to watch your movie, and you're going to lecture me for 45 seconds before I start that.
Or on the recent DVDs I've gotten from Netflix, there's the FBI warning, and then there's another warning, and then there's another warning, and there's another warning in Spanish, and then another warning in Spanish.
Okay, you're not going to lecture me for over 2 minutes in 2 different languages and expect me to respect your property.
Yeah.
I am going to take that, and I am going to use it however I feel I need to.
Yeah, it's the business they're in makes it rough for them to develop like a positive relationship with the consumer. So compare, say, Fox to Zappos. Okay, Zappos is easy. Somebody goes on Twitter and they say, I'm looking for a shoe and I can't find one. And then Zappos' incredible customer service attacks them like a banshee and makes their life like full of unicorns and butterflies and rainbows.
That they attack it in a good way.
In a good way. In a very good way.
Yeah, it's not a negative thing. Zappos attacks you with kindness.
They do attack you with kindness. So that's easy for them. So in the movie, like, what is the translation of that to the movie experience? Because what's happening is every company that is becoming like, PR savvy these days, they understand the importance of transparency is the big word, right? So transparency in the U.S. government, so you understand more of what's going on. And why is transparency important? Because the more you know about something, the more you trust it, and the more you're okay with it. So, like, if you, like, Chachi, the reason that you would respect my copyright is because you know me, and you get warm fuzzies when you think about.
Right. And
right.
That's not, I mean, we've known Rob for a while. All right, we know Rob. We know Rob's a good person.
Yeah.
We get along with Rob. We respect the work that Rob does. If we did work that was comparable to Rob,
I'm respecting Rob's work right here. There you go.
Yeah, but I mean, no, seriously.
Are you looking at what I think you're looking at?
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
But no, seriously. If we did work that deserved a copyright comparable to what Rob does, I currently don't do that.
Well, we do this under Creative Commons here,
right? So. Because of the relationship we have, we feel that Rob would respect us the same way,
right? Because
we don't poop on him anytime he goes to use our product.
Right. It's that familiarity that makes you feel comfortable. And it's like, I really wish I could come up with a solution for the big film companies, but there is no warm, fuzzy, friendly feeling that you get from them. And it's a PR nightmare to represent that.
Exactly. There's nothing that any of us can come up with that is able to undo everything that they've done over the past 2 decades.
Yeah. Huh.
They've dug themselves in a hole that no one is going to help them out of.
Yeah, and the other problem is because of how costly movies are. Like, the easy solution for most content-producing companies when they dig themselves into this hole is they give things away.
Right.
Nobody's going to give away a $4 million movie.
Well, I mean, they could.
They could.
Some do. Michael Moore gave away his Slacker Uprising.
Right.
So
it's
happening in some venues. What's that?
That was kind of low budget, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Well, Michael Moore movies.
In comparison. What's that?
I mean,
Michael Moore movies are low budget.
Yeah.
It's him in a camera.
A documentary in general would be.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is possible to give something away.
Yeah.
We know that. They could release a movie to give away if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, let's think about this. Kevin Smith made Clerks.
Yeah.
For $28,000.
Yeah.
He didn't give it away.
No, because that was all credit card debt.
Right. And I understand why he didn't give it away.
Yeah.
All right? But that just goes to prove that you don't need a $4 million budget to make a movie.
Yep.
Hmm.
That movie's a classic now.
I don't think it even took that much for him to make the new one.
Right.
Red State.
Right. So, you can make a movie that you can give away. They just don't want to. That's all there is to it. Well,
it's also, the thing is, like, Clerks is a certain audience. It is a classic, but things that become cult classics, you know, when they hit the box office, which is where movies make their money in the first week. After that, it's all, forget about it. Like, DVD sales is not actual income for movies.
Right.
So movies like if you were to release a movie like Clerks in theaters right now, I guarantee there would be 5 people in that theater.
No, you're right. Even for
go
ahead.
But like you compare that to what was that movie in South Africa with the prawns?
District 9.
Yeah, you compare that to the budget of District 9. And people went out to salivate at that movie, regardless of what the story was like or how well shot it was, just because it looked phenomenal. But that costs a lot of money. You can't give District 9 away, and District 9 is the KFC to the general public. Dropping metaphors like what?
Wow. All right. You're completely correct. And I don't have an argument to come back.
Well, I think on that point, we need to move on to our last story.
All right, movie
I think
industry.
This is a conversation we're going to be having for weeks to come.
All right, movie industry.
So let's take a moment before we go here on the AwesomeCast to welcome our new robot overlords. Watson has been on Jeopardy this week, of course.
Computers.
We were even watching a little bit of it at the beginning of the show here in the background. And he was doing pretty good last we saw. Yeah,
he turned it up a notch from yesterday. And, alright. Listen, I for one welcome this. This is groundbreaking stuff. Like, this is gonna put us into a place, or is leading us to a place in the future that is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't know what Watson is, you probably shouldn't be listening to the show. Not to be mean, I'm just saying.
Oh, you mean the error reporting software circa Windows 3.1?
No.
Yes, exactly.
And Mad Mike is afraid of the robots. He just said that he hopes the robots kill me first. But, alright, so IBM built this computer. Imagine that IBM built a computer, right? This computer is playing Jeopardy. Now, you can program any computer to answer trivia questions. That's nothing nowadays. But Jeopardy isn't just another trivia show. They have wordplay, puns, nuances that computers used to not be able to pick up until Watson. And not only did Watson pick up on this, the last we noticed, he was up 35,000 to 5,000 was the closest person next to him. And they gave the thing a sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
In the second round, he hit a daily double, and he bet 6,435. Because that's what he felt was good enough to wager on this question.
And then I'm sure there's some sort of odds in there somewhere.
Yeah, I mean...
That's...
And they set it up to have a voice and a little avatar, and... Yeah, it's amazing.
It said Mad Mike in the chat saying that Watson actually deduced where the daily doubles were.
Yes.
So...
I along with Mike, here at the AwesomeCast Robots, welcome. Kill Mad Mike first. I'll be your flesh slave.
There you go.
Tell me what you want.
There you go.
You need someone to change your batteries? I'll do it. Rob, what do you think?
I'm okay with it. I'm only worried if he starts replicating. Then we're in trouble.
Right.
Smart robots are cool, but when smart robots create smart robots, we are screwed.
That's true. But
Hopefully,
I think we're a long ways off from that.
I don't know. Probably sooner than you think. I mean, this is you gotta think. This is what we're seeing in public from IBM.
Yeah.
Right.
How long have they had Watson? How long have they been working on Watson? What's the
Can Watson predict a Super Bowl? Can Watson predict every major league sports game ever?
Probably not.
I don't know.
I mean,
I'd say he could do it. If Madden can predict the Super Bowl, I think Watson can predict the Super Bowl.
There you go. We hook up.
Listen, I'm not going to argue the
on.
fact that this computer is smarter than John Madden. I'm sorry. That doesn't surprise me.
We hook up Watson.
You know, Chachi, Madden is not John Madden's brain on a
No, it
disc.
hasn't been. No. We hook up some Watson to some Madden 2012 next year and see what happens. You know?
That's what I say.
Hey.
Maybe we just solved the problem for the football strike.
Yeah, how about that?
Probably.
Well, I mean, and you also consider that there are currently programs that exist that can create new programs. There are programs that self-replicate.
That's
And then you also have things like the, what's it called? It's right on the tip of my tongue. It's a MakerBot and it builds itself.
we're scaring Mad Mike even
I think
more
that's,
now.
yeah, it is. Isn't it the MakerBot or the? It was at CES.
There's a name for it. It's a certain what the heck is it called? Can't.
Is it by MakerBot? Is it? I feel like that's part of the equation you're looking for.
It's a rep. Mendel. A Mendel. That's what it's called. A Mendel.
A Mendel.
Rep Mendels are rapid prototyping machines that are built to be. They are built to be rapid prototyping machines and create rapid prototyping machines. It's built out of rapid prototype parts. So it's self-replicating, but it can't self-assemble. So we're one step away from machines that can self-replicate themselves entirely.
Oh.
Yeah, how about that? Little nugget of truth
The chat
and
room's
wisdom.
going nuts over this.
Yeah.
So,
Decepticon T1000.
we scared the internet.
there you go. Oh, the internet's been scared. Scared.
I'm sorry.
The internet's been scared by us.
I'm a nerd.
Mhm.
This is exciting stuff. I am not afraid of it.
Yeah.
I want more.
Mhm.
I want to know what else IBM has behind those doors.
Well, you know what, Chachi? That's a shame because you're going to have to wait until next week.
I know.
That's right.
It's time to go.
That's right. We'll see what they have in store for Wheel of Fortune. All right, guys. This has been your awesome cast. Chachi, what do you got? We're going to get back to Chachi Says and the regular stuff from you, right?
Yeah, and I'm working on some new stuff.
Working on some new stuff. You got a new project coming up.
Yeah.
So something to last you until Chachi plays next year.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, check out the baristas this week.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. There's that.
I'm a nerd consultant on it.
Yes, you are.
So, yeah.
It's about D&D.
Yeah.
And it may be better than the D&D episode of Community.
It is.
It is?
Yeah.
I just watched that the other night. That was pretty great.
Yeah.
But, baristas.com.
Thebaristas.com,
Yeah.
yes.
So check that out.
Episode 3.
Yeah, you'll love it. It's fantastic.
That's right.
But, yeah. Rob,
Excellent.
what do you got going on?
As I mentioned, there's the pudding wrestling photos.
Oh, yes, there are right there. That's a
Yeah,
lot of pudding.
You can go to pictures.robjdlc.com, and that'll point you to my Flickr page and show you all the pudding fantasticness. I was rooting for Praying Mantis. I'm gonna say I was also rooting for. Wow, I'm terrible with names today. Just completely awful.
It's okay.
There was a lovely girl with a rifle.
Oh yeah.
a lovely girl with a rifle, and I'm digging to the name because it's Ollie Oxenblood. There it is. Yeah, so I was rooting. I was rooting for Ollie Oxenblood and Praying Mantis. Unfortunately, surprise contender showed up in one of the final rounds from last year, Erica Astra, and kicked some serious butt, and it was fantastic. Not nearly as much pudding as there was last year, but it was fantastic.
Tremendous.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
What do you got going on?
Go to sorgatron.com. I think I'm going to be putting some stuff up, some pictures and stuff from this past weekend. I got lots of pictures of Chachi. Well, I mean, of course, we're going to have the videos. And finally, I'm going to get to this week the Toonsium interview with Doug Bradley, Pinhead from Hellraiser, and all that. Go over to carboncopysquared.com. Lengo has pretty much a synopsis comic from our night at Toonsium, and of course this great stuff with Chachi Plays and everything over there. So I want to give a shout out to him on that, and keep at it. Sorgatronmedia.com. We're going to have a lot of fun stuff up there coming up, and Chachi Plays is just the beginning.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of good stuff.
So I'm Sorg for Rob and Chachi. You have been our awesome audience. Hop in the chat room tonight. We'll see you guys next week.